I'm 33 the time, and a very, very good day to you, everyone. I am Randall White, as Monica said there, joined by Patty Pyburn, my lovely, talented co-host.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, and so, Patty, you used to live in Monterey County, and did you ever make it to Pinnacles National Monument?
I did not, but I know what you're talking about.
Yes. Well, I think when something is designated as a national monument, it gives people reason to go, but
it boosts the tourism power.
It does when it goes from just a regular park to a national monument. But when it goes from a national monument to a national park,
yes, even more so.
There are only a handful of national parks throughout the United States that are designated. There's a lot of national park units, which a national monument would be part of,
right?
But actual just national parks. I don't have the number in front of me, but I think it's 40-something throughout the United States. So Pinnacles has gone from being, this month, just a few days ago, right, from being a national monument to a park. And I went in the late 80s.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And I haven't been back, but now I feel it's so funny.
You should go check it out.
Now I want to check it out. Well, the closest town to Pinnacles National Park is Soledad, which, lots of people drive right on past on Highway 101, but now there's reason to pull off and explore the town a little bit as part of your exploration of Pinnacles. And Mayor Fred Ledesma joins us right now on the phone. He is the mayor of Soledad, and I imagine, Mayor, this must have been fantastic news for you.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, we were kind of had heard that, Sam Farr had told us, the congressman, that he was going to try to put some legislation. But to be very candid with you, we were kind of a little skeptical, thought, this will never happen. And then with the impasse in Washington, D.C., and the fight with the president, we figured it wasn't going to happen. So we were pleasantly shocked when we got the phone call the other morning that the president had signed the legislation. So we're pretty excited.
Yeah, that is, when I had heard also, Mayor, that this plan was in the works and that Sam Farr was working with, was it Barbara Boxer that he was working with to make this happen? But then I heard nothing more about it, so it fell off my radar and I wasn't paying attention. And then Patty, my co-host here, she's very good about this all week long. Anything that crosses her desk that would be of interest to this show, she sends me an instant email or a text message. And so I got that and I was like, great. I was hoping that would happen. So California has the highest number of national park units and also national parks themselves of all 50 states, and now we just boosted that by one, and it's right in your backyard, Mayor.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. There's only 59 national parks in the whole United States.
59, so okay.
59, that's the exact number. We are number 59 in Soledad, or actually the Pinnacles. And, we're pretty excited. They draw about 300,000 people a year.
And that'll likely rise now, I imagine.
Well, they're estimating. It's kind of hard to say, but they're estimating that will double in the first year.
Wow!
So that's pretty exciting.
That is exciting. And how far is Soledad from Pinnacles?
We are about 5 miles, 4.5 to 5 miles.
That's it.
Yep. It seems a lot farther because the road is a little windy and it goes up. It's elevated. But that's it. From my house here, I actually ride a bike up there once in a while.
Really?
I was in better shape. When I was in better shape, I used to ride it a couple of times a week. But
I love mayors who hop on their cycles. I've known many over the years, yeah.
Well, Mayor, that sounds like some really good prospects for some opportunities for tourism for Soledad.
Yes, actually, it's kind of ironic. Two things happened this week simultaneously, which is kind of like fortune is smiling on us. Monterey County was voted one of the top 10 destinations in states for wine country.
I saw
that too. Yeah. That was interesting.
Yeah. And Monterey County has adopted a wine corridor in would be the wineries on River Road outside of Soledad. They're about 2.5 miles from Soledad.
Right, that leads over to the 101 if you stay on it, right?
Correct. So it's right off of 101, and you would go out, like if you're going to Soledad Mission.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd go on those coaches. There's a series of 7 to 9 wineries there.
Mm-hmm.
Quintana, Paraiso, Smith & Hook, Hahn, Raff, Ranchoni, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened I think on Monday or Tuesday was named the top 10. I forget which Wine News or whatever had rated them. And then the Pinnacles happens 2 days later. So for tourism in our area, we are right on the cusp of doing some spectacular things.
Just a boom boom for you.
Right.
And so as I understand it, in an article that I read, you are currently in discussions with a couple of high-end hotel chains. This should help put those negotiations over the top.
Big time. I had the opportunity about a month and a half ago, and I went staying in Shafter for an ACAP, Cities Aligned with Prisons, and so on the way back, it was either stay in Shafter or stay in Paso. So I figured I'd stay in Paso. It's a little bit nicer, but I stayed there at a hotel. I think it's Ballesteros or Ballesteros. It's called.
Oh yeah, right off 101 there. You can see it. It's beautiful.
It's ironic that I stayed there, and one of the CEOs over at On Winery said this is exactly what we need. We need this in our area because what's happening, Randall, to our areas, it's predominantly agriculture. So, for example, the Pinnacles has two entrances, an east entrance and a west entrance. The east entrance is the side with the Hollister side.
Okay.
Right.
And then the west entrance is the Soledad side. The difference is the east entrance has camping facilities, the west entrance does not. We do not have camping facilities. It might seem like that's not good, but we think it is good because then people, if they want to come to the national park and stay on the west side, would want to stay in a hotel.
Right, and enter Soledad.
Yes. Now, Mayor, a lot of people, when they think of Soledad, they think of the penitentiary that's there. Is that a hurdle for you? Is that a challenge to get people to rethink?
Yeah, it's, growing up here, born and raised here, it's kind of like, oh, so when did they let you out? And it's like, they gave me furlough for a few days.
Yeah. You're on a work release as a mayor.
Yeah, exactly. So that has been. The other thing that has been very difficult in Monterey County is that the Land Agency Formation Commission, the county commission, is pretty adamant about protecting agriculture land.
Yeah.
It's a two-edged sword. The two-edged sword for us is that since they do that, if we have somebody that wants to come in and build an industrial site or a large hotel, etc., you have to go through a lot of hoops to get it approved because of their protection of the ag industry.
And you are just all ag land in that area.
You can't mess with America's salad bowl.
Well, pretty much. But
Yeah.
our beef, though, as a growing community, especially being a Latino elected official, is the jobs that are provided by the ag industry in South County are low-end, low-paying jobs.
They're not head of household jobs.
Exactly. So our beef at the county level is this. You have the environmentalists on the peninsula that want to preserve land, which we understand. You have the ag industry that wants to preserve their land. We understand. So what does it leave the communities like Soledad, Greenfield, King City, Gonzales? I can tell you what it leaves. It leaves us 24,000 farm workers in those four small towns.
Right.
It leaves us a lot of undereducated or uneducated people with low means of income. So it makes areas of blight. And our contention is things like the ag industry, tourism, the wine industry, the tourism over at Pinnacles can change the face of the economies of all of our South County cities. So we're kind of excited about this.
So this seems like an opportunity for you to see
Big
some
time.
movement there.
Big time. I'll give you an example. Han Winery is building in the process. They got approval to build a culinary center.
Oh, nice.
So their idea, which is pretty cool. They kind of gave me a little sample of it a couple of months ago. You would go in, pay a fee, and they would take you with their chef, and the chef will show you how he prepares the food, and then he'll do a food pairing, a wine pairing with the food.
That's a great idea.
It's a cool experience.
Yeah.
The problem they're having in the wine corridor is people show up, go through all this, and if you're like me, you start one bottle leads to two to
They
three,
want a place
four.
to stay.
Exactly. So you're like, I don't want to drive. So what
And
ends
they
up
shouldn't.
happening? Yes, and what ends up happening though, they end up staying on the peninsula because they have more facilities, nice facilities.
And by the peninsula, you mean Monterey, Carmel, right?
Correct. Monterey, Carmel, Pebble Beach. Carmel Valley is just actually you can go to back road to Carmel Valley about 40 minutes from here. By Arroyo Seco. And anyhow, so they end up not staying, and they end up spending their money on the peninsula. And it is very, very frustrating for us that it's like we have the party, They're buying all the gifts for somebody else.
But you want the stayovers.
We want the gifts. Yeah, we want the stayovers because, we all know that. We all go places, and what happens? We end up eating breakfast, dinner, buying things, going to shop.
Right.
You know.
Mayor, I have a question for you, and sadly, I only have about a minute for you to answer it. But that is, with this expected increase, doubling of visitors to Pinnacles, does the infrastructure in place to handle that number of tourists?
The ironic thing, we actually do. We built a new wastewater treatment plant about 7, 8 years ago during the housing boom, and because we're stuck with this large facility, but it's a blessing because now we have the capacity to handle it. It's just a matter of people bringing the monies in to build these things.
And I imagine building new hotels and restaurants and such like that would add some of those higher paying jobs that you were talking about as well.
Yes, if you look at the salary scale at people that are in the hospitality industry as compared to some of the lower paying jobs, being in the grapes or in the lettuce business, it's a big contrast. Yeah.
Right.
And
Soledad.
You don't have to be outside of the cold.
Soledad Mayor Fred Ledesma, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and a big congratulations on that new park designation.
Well, thank you. I want to thank Congressman Barr for getting us there, and come on down to the Pinnacles.
We'll have to have you back on for an update, like maybe a year from now or so. Thank you, Mayor. We're back in just a moment with a great recipe. Stick around for our final segment.